All right, y'all. Today we're taking a look at this boudoir photography business. Gonna see if it has BSS for its local search and for its city search. And we're back here in the GBC universe where we're taking declining boudoir photographers to the #1 boudoir photographer in their city. As always, our North Star is FSIC, aka full spectrum intent capture. If you want more info on that, yeah, somewhere, pin post, pin video on the profile. And it's our North Star because FSIC explains why all boudoir photographers either rise or fall. Those that are rising, they're probably bringing in peeps from the entire intent ladder, the intent spectrum, high intent here on the left to low intent way over on the right. Here we talk about the highest intent peeps, Google search, social media search, searching right now for a boudoir photo shoot in our city. That's where we talk about BSS. All the way at the other end, those are interruption ads like Facebook, Instagram. It's our other brand, Boudoir FB Ad Doctor, where we talk about BLCS. And right now over there, we're only working with boudoir photographers spending more than 10 grand a month on boudoir Facebook ads. So we're focusing on the two intent extremes right now. So here we're talking about BSS, which is boudoir search sameness. That's when a boudoir photographer has either 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google. 0 slots means if we're not on page 1, we basically don't exist. We're on page 2 or deeper. And we already know that approximately 80% of Google searches never go past page 1. So that's the bulk of the market, that's most of the market. And if they have zeros, basically if we're in 0 slots on page 1, we're basically invisible and we're going downhill pretty fast. 1 slot on page 1, Google is not good enough either, because every other boudoir photographer on there is also going to have most likely 1 slot. So, since there's 10 organic slots per Google, search page, the a buyer is just going to be clicking on everyone's website, contacting everyone, price shopping us against literally everyone. And as a result, we're actually going to, we're actually going to not stand out, be price shopped. People probably go to the lowest bid, all things like that. So boudoir search sameness, no bueno. We also know that 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google is not normal. Yeah, it's not normal to have such few number of slots for ourselves on page 1 of Google. Extremely common, but not normal. This is actually the symptom of 2 deeper root causes. There's 2 deeper root causes. One, basically everyone knows about, market saturation, and another one, basically nobody knows about, the false belief of page 1 equality. So first, market saturation, that's someone getting a new iPhone, then they're throwing up their Google My Business profile saying they shoot boudoir. Now they got a website saying they shoot boudoir, saturating the market. Or someone gets a new camera, now they're posting the mom groups saying that for boudoir photo shoots. So it's more sellers to the same number of buyers, driving down the price for everyone. And usually this results in other boudoir photographers kind of getting kicked out of the market, going bankrupt, closing down shop. Now, basically everyone knows that, and also a big thing that happened with that was COVID. A lot of people lost their jobs, still to earn money, became boudoir photographers because everyone's got a great camera on their phone, on their cell phone. And so that was another, supply shock, seller shock. Way more sellers to the same number of buyers. That was when COVID happened. Now the not currently very known false belief of page 1 equality. That belief is that kind of every boudoir photographer gets, 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google. And, maybe we had our website ranked on page 1 of Google, but then more boudoir photographers came in, kicked us down to page 2, and like, oh, that's simply that's simply how it is. Kind of just we simply gotta take what Google gives us. Hopefully that other person closes down and deletes their website so Google can maybe pull us back onto page 1. But it's kind of out of our hands. That's the belief of page 1 equality, whereas every boudoir photographer gets either 0 or 1 slots on page 1, and that's simply how it is. But it's a false belief. I know that's a false belief because I went from 0 out of 10 slots on Google page 1 search to 9 out of 10 slots Google page 1 search in 10 days. Why? Because I knew page 1 equality is a false belief, and my hypothesis was Google would give me as many slots as I want, page 1 slots, as I wanted to put in the effort to acquire for whichever keywords I want to put in the effort to acquire them from. So that's exactly what I did, which we'll see those results in, whatever, 2 or 3 more pictures. So page 1 equality, false belief. We also know that boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness, so having either 0 or 1 slots, page 1 of Google, is a disappearing boudoir photographer. Because look, if you got 0 slots on page 1, we already know approximately 80% of Google searches do not go past page 1. So we're invisible to 80% of the marketplace. So yeah, we're definitely disappearing. For 1 slot on page 1, we're looking the same as everyone else. We're price shopped to death. We're disappearing as well. And this is kind of the canary in the coal mine, where BSS causes disappearing boudoir photographers, and basically all disappearing boudoir photographers also have BSS, what kind of is foreshadowing for the eventual disappearance of the entire boudoir photography business. So this is the canary in the coal mine. So we got to solve first. We got to stop the bleeding here. And luckily we have a solution, because we now have learned through extensive testing that BSS is treated with social search saturation. This is our S-cubed methodology. We invented it. You cannot get this solution from anybody else. And social search saturation is exactly what it says. We saturate social search with the highest intent search terms to show up there and kick everyone else out. These are kind of like, the smaller rivers that feed into the Amazon. And kind of when we do that successfully, that flows down into the Amazon, flows onto Google. And many times Google will start giving us more and more page 1 slots for those more and more keywords we're ranking for in social search. That's why it's called social search saturation S-cubed methodology. We want to be saturating social search at all times, because if we're not, someone else in our city probably is. If nobody is, then we got the first mover advantage to do it. So S-cubed methodology, the magical thing about this is the only thing I've ever seen for boudoir photographers that can successfully fight against market saturation and essentially render it, null and void. Because imagine we're in Miami, Florida. Let's say there's 1 million boudoir photographers. Everyone's got a website for their boudoir photography business. They're ranking it. They're competing for page 1 Google search. But let's say we take S-cubed methodology to the max. We rank for the first, 300 slots for the highest intent search terms for boudoir in our city across all the major social media platforms. So we saturate social search. We're there. Can't find anyone until slot 301 and after. As a result, we're saturating the first 300 slots on Google as well. Well, each page on Google is 10 organic slots, and so that's 30 pages. You gotta go page. Basically, any buyer's gotta go page 31 to find any of our 999,999 competitors, because we cranked S-cubed methodology up to the maximum. So, whose business is growing? Ours. Whose business is growing the fastest in the city? Ours, because buyers can essentially really only find us, because we're everywhere they look. Basically, we're gonna kick out, box out all the other competitors, and we already know, approximately 80% of Google searches never go past page 1, so they definitely ain't going to page 31. So this is what S-cubed methodology enables us to do for all those who want to put in the effort to achieve it. Now, once you're with S-cubed methodology, we have page 1 visibility. We're finally visible on page 1, even though if we had 1 slot there, we're not actually visible there because we look the same as everyone else. We get an added bonus to this where we're kicking competing boudoir photographers off page 1, effectively making them invisible. They get kicked out to page 2 or deeper. And again, we know approximately 80% of boudoir photographers, or approximately 80% of Google searches never go to page 2. They're page 1 only searches, which means page 2 and deeper is invisible, disappearing boudoir photographer, canary in the coal mine. Eventually, the boudoir photography business will disappear. So we achieve page 1 visibility once we overcome market saturation and page 1. We crash through the false belief of page 1 equality. And page 1 visibility activates boudoir search visibility for us. So here we want to hit the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 slots on page 1 for local search and city search. Because when we're at 3 out of 10 slots, I mean, we've kicked off at least 2 to 3 other competitors from page 1. Also, compared to everyone that has 1 slot on page 1, we got 3. People are going to say, wow, why is Google recommending this person so much? They're going to auto-trust us more. And the very rare chance someone else has 2 slots on page 1, well, we're at 3, and so we're always beating them. So it activates boudoir search visibility for us. And a boudoir photographer with BSV is a visible boudoir photographer, a VBP. This is our micro universe here. We got Disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness caused by market saturation and page one equality. We now have a solution now, S-cubed methodology. And as a result, we achieve page one visibility, become a visible boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility. Now onto my results I got using this. So I was using this, I want to rank for the term BLCS boudoir. And I use S-cube methodology. That's exactly what I did. And what I actually did was, here, organic, we started spot one, we got organic slot one, we got organic two, we got organic. So slot three, me, slot four, me, slot five, me, slot six, me, slot seven, me, slot eight, me, and slot 10 is me. So I'm from 0 out of 10 slots on page one to 9 out of 10 slots on page one in 10 days. And this is through utilizing S-cubed methodology that we invented, that cannot get us from anyone else. We invented it, we created it. And so this is the power of S-cubed methodology. So now to the main event here. Let's see if this boudoir photography business has BSS for its local search and its city search. So Middletown, Delaware, Wilmington, Delaware. Okay. So here we go, Middletown, Delaware. So here we go, we got slot one. Sponsor doesn't count. All right, we got slot two. All right, we got slot three. We got slot four. Hey, we got slot five. And we got slot six, slot seven, slot eight. Amazing. All right, this is what we want. This is page one domination. When we got, you know, 8 out of 10 or more slots on page one. Google search for our highest intent keyword. Perfect. Exactly what we want. Obviously, we want as many as we can get, 9 or 10 as well, but hey man, 8's great. So we do not have BSS for local search, and we have achieved the GBC minimum of 3 out of 10 for local search. Perfect. And that search, you know, the largest city close by, which is Wilmington, the same thing. All right, so here we go. We got slot one. Boom, slot two. All right, so we got slot two here. So we do not have BSS for city search either. So we got 2 out of 10 slots. Nice. And a benefit. So we do not have BSS for local search, and we hit the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 for local search. We also do not have BSS for city search, but we did not hit the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 for city search. So all in all, pretty good. All right, so if you are a disappearing boudoir photographer, we've done your local search or city search with the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords. You've seen that you got BSS for one or both, or you're not meeting the GBC recommend minimum 3 out of 10 page one slots on Google for either one or both of them. And you have broken through and accepted the false belief of page one equality. So now you agree and believe with the truth that Google will actually give as many page one slots on Google as one wants to put in the effort to acquire. And you're saying that, oh, you've been looking exactly for something like this, and S-cubed methodology is exactly what you were looking for this entire time. And you're liking the, you're liking the initial benefits, basically like more page one slots on Google, and even more kicking other competitors off page one on Google, making them invisible. And so you like those initial benefits. You're understanding the market saturation. Yeah, more peeps, get new gear over time, more boudoir photographers over time, same number of buyers, harder for every single boudoir photographer. You got that, you got that, you got that. And you're looking ahead, understanding AI, seeing that it's already taken peeps' jobs, and you're realizing, okay, well, last time inside of COVID forced more boudoir photographers into the market because people don't have jobs, but they still got to earn money, and everyone's got a high-powered smartphone with awesome camera. So pretty easy to fire up a Google Maps or website saying they shoot boudoir now and compete with everyone else. And as a result, you actually realize you need this other hidden benefit, which is you actually need to fortify your position on page one with all these people coming that will be coming when AI is taking more and more people's jobs to force them to become boudoir photographers because they still need money, still need to earn money. And as a result, you're now looking for strategies to fortify your position on page one where no new people that get new gear can rank page one in your area, and no people that lose their job due to AI and want to become boudoir photographers uh, can neither rank page one on Google against you. So you're saying, how do you fortify yourself? You're saying, oh, S-cubed methodology is the only solution you see out there that can help you fortify that. Kind of like you have like backup links in the waiting that Google wants to rank, but since you've already taken so many slots on page one, Google literally cannot rank them. But it also means no other competitor, Google will not rank any other competitor because we would have kind of like links in waiting. So you're liking that, future benefit. You want to achieve page one visibility, become a visible boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility, because you need these things on your way to becoming the number one boudoir photographer in your city. And you also like these three other future benefits, which are kind of the more we successfully execute S-cube methodology every single day, we're building up like these invisible thematic keyword columns plugged into our brand, kind of like columns, the Parthenon, Athens, Greece, or like the center of a bike tire, the hub and the spokes, kind of build out more spokes outward from us, which actually build a back-end AI mindshare. And we care about this because every time we increase this with the kind of repetition, authority, frequency, age of these keywords are being associated with through utilizing S-cube methodology, we're actually increasing the probability every single day that we're recommended here. AI overview, most premium placement, organic placement, cannot pay for this. And increasing that every single day we successfully increase the probability that every single day we successfully execute S-cube methodology. And we are doing this same feature benefit as for the AI search apps, ChatGPT search, Claude, Perplexity, Microsoft Copilot, Google Gemini. Every day we successfully execute S-cube methodology, we're increasing the probability we get brought up in search there. And last time I searched for boudoir photographer in a city, ChatGPT search recommended me 3. But I actually went to look, kind of like did a manual search, Google and Facebook, found out there's approximately 60 boudoir photographers in this city. So we know we got to get, one of those 3 AI search slots. And you're seeing S-cube methodology is the only thing that helps achieve those invisible thematic keyword columns, which directly increases that probability. Now, since you understand my current plan is to work with one boudoir photographer per city, you decide to be a first mover and get all these initial benefits and future benefits, and more importantly, prevent your competitors from getting them. And when you've decided, that's because you also see, S-cube methodology is able to build you a brand approximately 8x faster than kind of any normal methods out there, because it'll be on just so many surfaces with much higher frequency, kind of enabling you to build, kind of 2 ways to resist market saturation over time, and also put a massive gap between you and all your current competitors and any future competitors. The gap's so large with, page 1 Google search domination and those invisible thematic keyword columns that backend AI search mindshare to be recommended through AI search that competitors really basically will never be able to catch up. And you understand the converse, which is if a competitor goes with me and you get locked out of utilizing this strategy, you'd actually have to rederive it for yourself. Actually, no, derive it for yourself the first time. You would then have to execute it as much as me and your competitor do. But we would already have a big gap on you. So when you equal our execution every single day, you're simply maintaining that gap. I mean, you're not gaining anything. So you'd actually have to double or triple our output. And when you do that, I mean, like first, you would not be 100% confident you've even derived S-cube methodology correctly in the first place to even feel confident putting in that much time to outcompete against us, to outcompete us. And you need like 80 hours in a day. So like, who's got that time? You're deciding, screw that. I've decided to be a first mover. I'm not missing this opportunity. So if that's you, shoot me a DM. My DMs are currently closed. So shoot me a DM when the hospital opens. The hospital is currently closed for new patient intake. But when the hospital does open, shoot us a DM. We'll see if you qualify for utilizing our S-cubed methodology.